I have been authorized to make the following statement on their behalf. I quote: The Security Council recalls the purposes and principles of the Charter of the United Nations and reaffirms its primary responsibility under the Charter for the maintenance of international peace and security. And in this regard, the Security Council reiterates that cooperation between the United Nations and regional and sub-regional organizations and arrangements in matters relating to the maintenance of international peace and security, and consistent with Chapter 8 of the Charter of the United Nations, can improve collective security. The Security Council recalls its previous relevant resolutions, which underscores the importance of developing effective partnerships between the United Nations and the regional and sub-regional organizations in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations and the relevant statutes of the regional and sub-regional organizations. The Security Council expresses its appreciation for the briefings of the Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Khalid Khayari, and the Assistant Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Mr. Yusuf Al-Duway. The Security Council takes note of the 16th Biennial General Meeting of the Organization and Agencies of the United Nations System and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and its subsidiary organs and specialized and affiliated institutions held in Astana from 22nd to 24th of July 2024 to review and appraise the level of cooperation between the two organizations and acknowledges the value of further strengthening cooperation in areas of common interest. The Security Council notes the United Nations and the regional and sub-regional organizations, including the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, work in promoting and facilitating the resolution of conflicts and stressed the need for this work to be consistent with the Charter of the United Nations and the relevant resolutions of the Security Council. The Security Council reaffirms its commitment to the Pacific settlement of disputes in conformity with the Charter of the United Nations, in particular Chapter 6. The Security Council notes the interest of utilizing the existing and potential capabilities of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in this regard, including through encouraging its member countries to resolve differences peacefully through dialogue, reconciliation, consultation, negotiation, good offices, mediation, and judicial settlement of dispute. The Security Council recognizes the important role of the good offices of the Secretary General and encourages the Secretary General to continue to use mediation as often as possible to help resolve conflicts peacefully, working in close coordination with the OIC in that regard as appropriate. The Security Council welcomes the efforts of the OIC, which have been undertaken in coordination with the United Nations in strengthening its role in the conflict prevention, confidence building, peacekeeping, conflict resolution, and post-conflict rehabilitation, mediation, and preventive diplomacy, and stresses the need for this work to be consistent with the UN Charter and relevant resolutions of the Council. The Security Council recognizes the importance of interaction and cooperation, where appropriate, between the Peace-Building Commission and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in support of nationally owned and inclusive peace-building efforts. The Council commends the member states of the OIC for their ongoing commitment to international peacekeeping and peace-building, including through the contribution of troops to the United Nations peacekeeping operations. The Security Council recognizes the value of close cooperation as appropriate with regional and sub-regional organizations, including the OIC, in order to enhance the implementation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions in a coherent, efficient, and effective manner. The Security Council notes that sharing of information and analysis between the UN and the OIC is relevant for advancing their shared concerns on conflict prevention, conflict resolution, and peace building, and encourages exploring further cooperation in this area. The Security Council commends the commitment of the OIC to building its capacity in the field of conflict prevention and resolution, mediation, and preventive diplomacy. The Security Council recognizes the relevance of enhancing cooperation with the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in the maintenance of international peace and security and expresses its intention to hold regular briefings of the Security Council as appropriate in this regard. The Security Council requests the Secretary General to include in his next biannual report to the Security Council and the General Assembly on cooperation between the United Nations and regional and other organization recommendations on ways to further enhance cooperation between the United Nations and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, unquote. This statement will be issued as a document of the Security Council under the symbol S/PRST/2025/5. There are no names inscribed on the list of speakers. The meeting stands adjourned.
Okay, I see.